Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to Synoria's Best Kept Secret podcast. Tonight I have my guest, Mr. Mike Randolph, better known as Tight Mike. What's up, Tight Mike?
Hey, what's good? How you doing? Type Mike Randolph. Randolph. Give me that F. Give me that PH, that F.
Okay, you already with the
The jokes. With the jokes.
okay. Well, listen, I'm glad to have you. We worked
Yes.
things out to get you here this evening, and I can't wait to get into this. I know I'm gonna be laughing the whole time. Listen, no pressure, but I already feel it.
Hey, it's gonna happen. You can loosen up your body shape or body magic if you're wearing one. You can loosen
Oh
it up
Lord,
now. Yeah, we're gonna
look,
have a good time.
exactly.
Push. Yeah, get your wig glue together. We ready, ma'am. We are ready.
That's good to hear. Listen, I want to
Mhm.
know because listen, I live in Orlando, Florida. I'm from Orlando, Florida. Are you
Mhm.
originally from Orlando or are you
No,
okay?
I am from Tallahassee, Florida, North Florida.
Okay.
For FAMU, Florida State. I'm from North Florida. They call it South Georgia. And I moved to Orlando about 20 years ago.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been doing stand up comedy ever since.
That's what's up. So what brought you into comedy? Like what was your attraction to comedy? Was there like a friend or a family member or something that you watched that was into that industry, or what drew you to comedy?
A great question. I was always kind of that guy, not the class clown per se, but always the guy that was cracking jokes. When I was younger, and I'm a little older than you, but I had the Jerry curl and the braces at the same time. So often I was the victim of a lot of jokes. And so it made me just sharp and witty and clever through the years growing up. And eventually I used that skill set to make a career out of it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, and so you said you've just been doing it ever since. So, once you started, your journey into comedy, like where did you get your start? Like, what was your
Uh,
initial? Mhm.
in Orlando at an open mic night. I will never forget it. It's a place in Orlando. Shouts out to the Caribbean Beach Club.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
yeah, back in the day. And one of my fellow comedians from BET's Comic View, a guy by the name of Rod Z,
Oh,
was the host. Yeah, here in Orlando. And there was a
right. He was
poet.
like one of my substitute teachers back in the day. I remember him being like a yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he split the night with the poetry guy named Jabril. So it was live poetry and then comedy.
Okay.
And I went there on the open mic night and performed, and I won $50. I'll never forget the winner got $50, and you got to come back the next week to defend your title. And the first night, great times. I did my thing. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just up there being silly, and I won the $50. The next week, I came back and tried to sell the same jokes, and it didn't fare as well for me. Yeah, I was boom, boom, boom.
Different crowd, different people.
Yeah, and then it was some of the same people that had heard the jokes before. So it's like, oh, he said that
Mhm.
last week. So
Gotcha.
it humbled me, and I've been chasing the craft ever since.
Well, and I'm sure that is a humbling experience. So, like, how do you maneuver that now, being in the game, over 20 years at this point? Has there been another time where something like that has occurred where you feel like, well, I've already done that material. Now I'm in it's probably like the same venue or similar crowd, and I got to switch it up.
Right. Well, you grow your material. You start out maybe 5 minutes, and then 10, and 25, 45. Now being a headliner, they require 45 minutes to an hour when you're telling
Okay.
jokes. And so if you go in the same place, you kind of want different jokes. You want to mix them up a little bit because if it's the same crowd, they want to hear something different. And it's odd. Our Caucasian counterparts want to hear you tell the same joke because they told all their friends, oh, he's got this joke about oranges.
Yeah.
Whereas our people, oh man, I heard that joke about oranges the last time. I don't hear that again.
Mm,
So you have to position yourself in such a way that you make everybody happy. But you generally try to change your material within the year and a half. You
okay.
change out and get you a new routine.
Oh, that's something to learn. So listen,
Yes.
just to know that you have to variate or switch it up and change it up.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Do you feel that, I guess, from region to region, or I don't know, county to county, state to state, whatever, that you have
Mhm.
to adjust your material as well? Or like if the orange joke might work here in Florida, but does it fly in, I don't know, Kentucky? You know what I mean? Like,
Kentucky or Virginia or Chicago or Detroit or Houston and Dallas and San Francisco. No, it is a challenge to write something that is relatable to everyone. So that's why you try to stick to stuff that's more personal to you. My family, my job, my position, my views on things. When you write jokes like that, then you don't cross the line of what somebody else might say. I don't do a lot of trending topics, so I don't do a
Okay.
lot of political stuff and what the president is doing and all of that. I do a little bit of that, but not a lot. Most of my routine is about me and my experiences, and then my viewpoint on things that happen in life.
Gotcha.
And so that way, yeah, you don't run into the it ain't funny here. In New York they have basements. In Florida we don't.
Right.
The snow that happens in Cincinnati doesn't happen in uh, Florida. You know what I'm saying? So you have to write stuff that's gonna make everybody all across the country laugh. And it took me going on tour with a couple of decent people and to figure out, oh, I can't tell that joke here because they don't have no idea.
Got
Um,
it. That was
mhm.
actually going to be my next question. Then, like, how did you follow that up, especially now being in the game for over
Yeah,
20 years? So you're saying
yeah,
it just kind of took some practice, which most things take
absolutely.
practice.
I will tell you a story that I can't say haunted me, but forever humbled me. Originally, I got out of the gate on tour with Sommore,
Okay.
and she came to town. She really liked me. Her management said, "Hey, we want to give you a shot, give you a couple cities." So now, of course, currently, a couple cities a year I go to them. They have 3 or 4 guys that they rotate in and out. So about 7 years ago, they took me to. I was in Orlando with them. We went to Tampa, and then we went to Birmingham, Alabama.
Hmm.
Well, the difference in temperature in Birmingham and Florida is about 50 degrees. So it was 70 here, but it was 35 there. And I came out the second night and my voice was gone.
Oh wow.
Right. And you're on tour with one of the queens of comedy. What do? You got 15 minutes, and 7 minutes in, it was. So I stopped and regrouped and ate a peppermint and one and hot water and got myself back together because when you're
Right.
traveling like that, you got 2 or 3 shows a night, 2 or 3 days of shows, all at the comedy club. So it was an experience that, and I give her credit. She didn't say, "Oh man, your voice left. You got to go home." She said, "What are you gonna do to fix it?
Right.
Where are you now? What are you gonna do the next time this situation happens?" Like she helped me regroup and helped me think through the process. So salute to Sommore for helping out, man, and the management. I was drinking green tea, all kind of stuff. I had never experienced that kind of cold and
Right.
performed like that. Normally, when I traveled to the other parts of the country, it was still warm. I was always smart. I'm going when it's warm. I ain't gonna go when it's snowing in Chicago.
Right. Right. But if you're
Yeah,
looking to expand, you have to
yeah.
open yourself up to different environments. Yeah.
Right. So now I travel. If it's cold, I know to keep a scarf. I know not to talk much during the day so the wind doesn't hit my throat. I know I don't want to be on the window. I want to keep a skull cap because I'm from Florida. We wear the low haircuts. I need a skull cap. I need to, health wise, keep myself together.
Right.
Something beyond the jokes. It's still show business. Your show is this part, but the business part is much longer.
Right. And that just sounds like some on the job lessons, right? Some on the job
Correct.
training, which you were
Absolutely.
able and privileged to get that from one of the greats. So
Yeah.
listen, we love us some Miss Samore. I know I do.
That's
Listen,
right.
she
That's right.
raunchy, she bad to death. I love
Yeah.
the
She
outfit, the
dressed to the
tears,
T's.
all
Yes,
that.
she dressed to the T, and she is a great person. That's what I love so much about her more. She is great because she could have easily sent me home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No, but she didn't. She's like, "Hey, this is what you got to do for tomorrow night. You want to get this peppermint. You want to get this green tea in you. You want to keep yourself warm all day. You want to keep your throat warm. You want to do all of these things because I'm the new guy on the road with the superstar, and I didn't know." Yeah.
And that, yeah, and that's such a big opportunity. And that would have probably made your let me ask you that. Do you feel
Mhm.
as though had you gone home or had she allowed you to give up, that your direction would have shifted or you would have been in a whole nother space at this point? Do you think you would have lasted 20 years in this industry at this point?
No, with my 24 years of experience, I've maybe had, except for the beginning when I first got going, I haven't had a lot of like bad shows. Even when I have a rough night, you
Hmm.
can turn it and fix it. Just being a veteran, you know how to. If your jokes ain't working, you can shift to something else. Like a
Right.
church crowd is different than a corporate crowd, which is different than a nightclub crowd. Um, so you have to know how to shift it. I think my career, she could have said, "Oh, you know what, this guy, he wasn't ready." And it
Mm,
could have been, and not necessarily blackball me, but it could have limited some of my opportunities. But
opportunities.
she
Right.
didn't. She turned around and was like, "I know you're funny. Get it together as far as your throat. This is what you want to do." And the next night I came out blazing, and it was no problem the rest of the weekend. And I had never experienced that on the
Yeah.
road. Yeah, being on the road and not being 100% is always something. And while I have a moment, the only other thing that happened to me was I was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I was sick. And right outside of Myrtle Beach, I was in a little town called Conway, South Carolina.
Okay.
So shouts out to Conway, South Carolina. The lady in the kitchen, the little hole in the wall nightclub. The lady made me something called chicken bog.
What is
I
it?
had never heard of it in my life, and I'm a country
Me
boy.
neither. Chicken
Chicken
what?
bog, bog, B-O-G, chicken bog like hog, chicken
Okay.
bog, and
Okay.
it's spicy chicken. I'm sorry, it's a chicken breast, basically chicken and rice with spicy sausage in it, and they
Mm.
bog it all together. That's why they call it bog. It basically it's
Mm.
chicken and rice with the spicy sausage, and it clears up your airways, and it's called chicken bog, and it's warm on your heart, and it clear up your sinuses. Man, it was amazing. So shouts out to the cook in Conway, South Carolina. I can't remember the nightclub, but she got me together. She said, "Oh, you need a little chicken bog. You'll be fine by tomorrow." I was
Okay,
fine in
shout out
3 hours.
to auntie, because that wasn't nothing but a good old auntie looking out for her nephew, making sure, listen,
Absolutely.
baby, don't you give up. I got you.
Right.
I'm gonna put
So,
these
and
spices in here and get you together.
that's what I respect about people call it the chitlin circuit. I was on the chitlin juice circuit. Then I got
Okay.
the chitlin circuit. Then I got into these major colleges and clubs. But people like that and places like that, man, I will always love and respect. So shouts out to Conway, South Carolina, right outside of Myrtle Beach.
That's what's up. What's up? Hey, Conway, South Carolina. Hey,
There you go.
auntie.
There you go. There you
Yes,
go.
that's what's
Uh-huh.
up. Listen, I love these stories because,
Yes.
being in an industry, right? And
Uh-huh.
being able to have these stories that you're able to share and hopefully inspire others, because I'm sure
Mhm.
there are other young comics or just up and coming comics that may
Mhm.
experience some of these same things, and, they
Mhm.
might get frustrated or,
Yeah. Yeah.
want to go a different way. What is some
Mhm.
advice that you're able to share with them at this point? I mean, you've had a 24-year career in comedy.
Indeed, I would say find your voice. So many people want to get into stand-up comedy and they think they're funny and all of that. But find your voice. That first 15, 25 shows, even 75 shows, you're going to throw them in the garbage till you trying to figure out who you are and what you want to talk about on stage. Don't just go off what you see on TV. Understand that that is crafted material. Somebody then practice it and practice it and practice it, and it works. You have to do the same thing. You have to put in the work. Comedians normally in cities that have a larger following, like a New York or an LA,
Okay.
it's a lot easier. Or DC, it's easy because it's 4 or 5 comedy clubs, it's 2 or 3 comedy nights. You can get on stage 4 or 5 times a night, and it'll make
Right.
you better faster.
Mm,
Versus Orlando, where maybe one, maybe 2 open mics,
mm,
and then you just don't have that opportunity to stay on the stage as much. So I
mm.
would say, of course, as much as you can get on stage and find your voice.
And I think that's important in any field when you're able to
Mhm,
find your voice, stand your ground, right? 10 toes
mhm,
down, like they say, and really move forward in what you want to
mhm.
do. Because at the end of the day, it's up to you to make things happen. Now, you just
Absolutely.
kind of touched on something else that I wanted to talk about, which is being in Orlando and being
Uh-huh,
in entertainment. I'm an actress, I model,
uh-huh,
I host. You yourself, you host as well as
uh-huh,
you do, your comedy. Do
uh-huh.
you find that it is limited as far as versatility here opposed to, well, of course we know, of course, opposed to a LA, but what do you think, I guess, we could do differently here to really bring more,
Mhm.
exposure or have more diverse talent?
First of all, we got to start getting along better. It's so
Mm,
much, it's so cliquish here in Orlando. I'm so happy I'm not from Orlando. I didn't go to high school with nobody here, so I'm considered neutral.
mm,
But right now in Orlando, I'm a television host. I host a show called Got Jokes that's on Afrotainment television. It's in 13 million households across the country, and people barely know about the station.
mm.
It's similar to an Aspire or a TV One, but it's right here in Orlando, and a lot of people just don't know about it. So we have to make ourselves more aware, and we have to get out and seek the knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Seek to be seen, and not just an individual. I love the way Kevin Hart kind of blew up and brought all his guys with him. He made it. It's 3 or 4 guys to open up with him, but he told him, "Hey, you know what? I need you to come up with some ideas to keep this money going." So that's where you get the Real Hustles of Hollywood idea. That's where you get the Heartbeat networks, the Laugh Out Loud networks, the shows, the 10-minute specials, 20-minute specials, because he gave his guys an opportunity to grow from up under him.
So is that the
That's
same
what he
thing
did.
that you're kind of trying to do at this time? Nurture, I guess, the
Yeah.
current talent and bring that along with you on this
Right.
ride?
On my ride, on the Got Jokes ride, I can say in the last 3 months, I've booked 32 comedians from across the country. People that you may have not even heard of, but they are hilarious. I do my best to showcase everybody I feel like needs a chance. Some of them are new guys, some of them are veteran guys you just never heard of, but it is an amazing show, and that's what I'm doing to give back. I've booked a lot of local guys
Mm.
to open up, so as many as I could. But what you have to not get in a box and have to understand it's not just black comedy or white comedy. It's just be funny. Can you make everybody laugh? That's what makes you diverse. Can you make everybody laugh? That's
Exactly.
the difference. Yeah, that's the difference.
Well,
Yeah.
and so these comments that and this is kind of why I wanted to do this podcast, right? Because I like to interact with different industry minds, whether, like I said, whether it's comedy, whether it's an actor, whether it's producer, director, whatever you do, even the business side of it, because like you
Right.
mentioned before, it's very important to understand the business of what
Yes.
you're getting into as well. And
Right.
I feel like the more exposure to different variety of talent within the industry, because like I
Yeah.
said, you don't know who's watching you and who may
Right.
be interested in the things that you're doing, and the
Mhm.
things that you're able to share may be able to help them to go ahead
Right.
and take that leap of faith and
Right.
progress into what they're doing. So
Right.
one of the things here, of course, the podcast is Synoria's Best Kept Secret. What would you say is one of your best kept secrets as far as, being in entertainment, being a TV host, being a comedian personality?
The diversity. People are always surprised when they say, "Oh, you can sing a little bit." Yeah. Oh, you do your own flyers? Yeah, most of the time. Oh, you get out to the people. You're not the Hollywood type. You friendly. You cool. Yes, because I'm networking with y'all, so I can get another gig, get another show. You never know who's out there in that crowd. And I
Right.
take the time, even though I've been on stage with the stars and all that. You still have to humble yourself. I'm a country boy at heart, so I still have to be accessible to some degree.
Gotcha.
And that I think is my best kept secret. Like I remain humble
Humble.
and I network. Networking. Your network is your net worth. Who you know will get you very far. You never know.
Gotcha. Opposed
Uh-huh.
to right, and that I think that like that's true, right? In a lot
Yes.
of fields, which we hear that a lot.
Yeah.
It's not what
But
you know, it's
it's
who
who
you
you know.
know, which is very
Mo-
important. I think. What do you think made you realize that for that to become something that you
yeah.
had to tap into?
But networking became so important to me because the comedy club can only book you so many dates. If you're not a big name guy, you're not in a comedy club traveling every weekend like
Okay.
a Bill Bellamy or a Sommore or Arnett J or Cedric the Entertainer. You're not in the club every weekend. So
Okay.
because you networking, you meeting comedians from across the country. Now you can go to what we call a room. So it's something like a comedy night at a club or a jazz bar or supper club or something like that. You go to their room, they come to your room. Knowing them, comedian to comedian, keeps you working
Okay.
because the comedy club work is few and far between unless you're a superstar. But when you're a
Mhm.
mid-level guy, you know what I'm saying? People know you, but they don't know you. Like, I kind of know him. When they kind of know you, you relying on other comedians to eat. And
Mhm.
that's the big difference. Who you know. Like here in Orlando last week, I got a call from my generation is the generation that's coming up next. The guy that's opening and traveling the country right now with T.I. His name is K-Dub, Kelly Walker. He called
Okay.
me and said, "Hey man, T.I. is in Orlando." Yeah, he said T.I. is in Orlando and he wanted to do some comedy. And I was like, "Oh, okay. All right." He wanted to go to an open mic night. I called one of my buddies. I gave K-Dub the number. He forwarded it to T.I. and T.I. showed up with Tiny and a couple of their kids and they had a great time.
I'm
Right
sure,
here in
and
Orlando.
he's doing his little thing too. So
Right. He's doing comedy now too. And he's traveling the country. But to me, I respect that. He's going about it the right way. He's going to the open mics. He's paying his dues. He ain't just jumping up on stage trying to be funny. He's really practicing and doing his thing. I commend him on that. And so
And I
that's where the
was gonna
networking
say, I
comes in
think that
handy.
is a commendable thing because you're someone who's been within this entertainment for over, 24 years. And for him to just start
Yeah.
within that realm, anyways,
Yeah.
we've been
Yeah.
in entertainment for a while, but comedy, I think
Right.
that would be commendable for, have you
Yeah.
got a chance to interact with him when he was here as
Yeah.
far as
I
letting him
talked to
know?
Yeah, I talked to him. It was last Monday, I believe it was. He was in town, and we talked for a minute. It was raining a little bit, so it was quick. But he definitely mentioned, when he come back, he definitely holler at us. And
Oh,
what we got him to do was
that's up.
go to
So you in
a
the rubber band man. I know that's right.
yeah. Tip is great people, and he was friendly and sociable, and that's what I think most people miss. Like you see a celebrity, and you expect them to act a certain way,
Certain
but the
way.
majority of them are really cool. It's not necessarily the celebrity; it's people that hang around them that try to act
Yeah.
Hollywood
Their
and extra.
entourage. They the ones with
Right.
attitude.
Right, and he was nothing like that. He was very cool. Yeah.
Well, and
Mhm.
I always love, like, he's such a philosopher, that type of
Yeah,
thing. But I love Tiny's like personality. She just seems like
mm,
she would be one of those chicks that you just would like click up with
yeah,
automatically. Like,
yeah,
hey girl, that type
right,
of thing. Yeah. So I'm sure
right.
some of that has rubbed off on him as well. Now we're talking
Yeah,
about celebrities, right? And I know you've been
yes.
around multiple celebrities. Now you don't have to say names, but has
Uh-huh.
there ever been like a situation where the celebrity was celebrating,
Yeah. Doing the most?
yes.
Yes. Giving bad energy?
Mhm.
Yes, and I won't say names.
Yeah.
I've seen people that wasn't celebrities that thought they were celebrities get extra. I need another car. I need an extra hotel room for my manager. I've seen all of that. I only drink Dasani water, which is nasty by the way, but people love it. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen everybody get out of here. I need a moment to myself. Everybody get out of the green room.
Oh, like one of
And that
those.
ain't necessarily Hollywood, but you just didn't
Um,
want to be dealing with people.
yeah.
Yeah. I've
Like,
been walking
okay,
with a
chill,
celebrity.
chill. Like,
Yeah, I was
we
walking with a
always hear
celebrity
about
one time.
like women, right, who are
Uh-huh.
divas, but we know it's
Oh,
some divos out there too. So,
absolutely. That's what I was just gonna tell you. There's a dude we was in. I never forget. We was in Albany, New York, and I was with a comedian I was on tour with, and we was on the escalator, and he has a character, and
mhm.
I won't forget. So the people was calling him by the character name, trying to get his attention and wave and take the picture. He would not turn around. He would not. He went all the way to the elevator and
No,
right into the club.
you know we talking to you. You know your character name, but you want to be funny
You want to be different,
or
and I
act
would say this:
funny.
it was not Ricky Smiley. I will say that it was not Ricky Smiley. It's another guy.
Okay.
But
Okay.
he does a character that he's famous for, and they call him by the character name. He would not. I say, man, they trying, man, that ain't my name. That ain't my name, bro. It's like, ooh,
Wow.
yeah, went
No,
right
you
into it.
know we talking to you. You know who we talking to.
That's how it
Listen,
goes on Love Train. Yeah,
yes, yes.
but
Let me ask you
mhm,
this because
sure.
let's talk about comics that are also, they transition into roles, whether it's television or film. How do you feel about that? Is that something that you've considered or,
Yes,
looked into?
I do think that's a natural progression. You do the
Okay.
stand up, and then you get into movies and television. So you create room for somebody else to come along. So I do think that is a thing, and I think that's a natural progression of stand up
Okay.
to do that. Yeah. Sorry, I feel like I got a little slight little cold, so I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, get yourself
Not be
together.
on kick.
Hey, it's okay. It's all love. Listen, I feel you. Look, it's okay if you got a look. You got to do one of
I
those.
had to sniffle. Yeah, I'm not on drugs though. I'm not on drugs. Just for
Yeah,
just for the record, that is a
so,
tissue I'm
yeah.
blowing my
Don't
nose.
start no rumors. Don't start no rumors.
Right, right. Don't get me going. Yeah, I think there is a natural progression. I was trying to make sure I had it all together. There's a
Okay.
natural progression. You should do stand up for a while, learn the craft, and then progress into what it is that you do. Some people are natural stand-ups. Sommore prides herself on being a natural stand-up. So if she get in a movie or not, it don't matter because she loves the stage.
Mm,
And then some people progress and move it into Kevin moved into movies and television and radio. But you have to find out what you want to do
right.
and be open to it all. Yeah, because that's just another lane you can make money in if you're doing it really well. Now in this new millennium, it is the internet guys are coming along. So they already start out on TV in some sort and videos and things like that. But they funny, but it doesn't transition into stand up always. So you still got to go practice your stand up. Even though you might be funny in a 30-second skit, can you be funny for 45 minutes? That's something totally different.
That is true because me myself because I've never tried comedy, right?
Okay.
But
Mhm.
I love comedy shows. I love to go to different events and things like
Mhm.
that. And there
Uh-huh.
are some comics, and I
Uh-huh.
won't say any names, that are very mainstream, very major that I've seen in movies, and I'm like, oh, they're hilarious. And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, they're gonna do a stand-up. Oh, I'm going. And then you go, and I'm like, snooze
Yeah.
fest. I'm sleep. I'm sleep. I fell asleep at and this is a major comedian. And I'm just
Right.
like, why it's not transitioning, what you're
Mhm.
doing on film to the
Mhm.
stage. What do you
Mhm.
think that disconnect is? Do you think it's maybe they're
Um,
out of touch or like what do you think the disconnect?
if they're in a movie, somebody wrote the script 9 times out of 10. So
Mm,
somebody made it funny for them and they just acted it out.
mm,
Thus the acting part. Stand up is more, you have to sit down with that pen and paper and you have to write, and write the punchlines and write the setups and write the premises. And that takes time. You can't cheat the game. You know what I'm saying? So he may have been funny in the movie because somebody else wrote it, or she may be funny in the movie, somebody else wrote it. But are you really funny for real? And that's the difference. And stand up is more than just saying silly stuff. It's being relative and then making that part jovial and funny. The difference is a lot of people can't do that.
Mm.
A lot of people can't get to that pen and pad and write out a setup and a punchline. They can be funny on them skits, but when it comes to setups and punchlines and entertaining me, then you got to tell a story, make the story funny the whole way through, or you got to be a setup punchline kind of guy and be funny, and that is definitely difficult.
Gotcha. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So now you know what that
Yeah,
clicked, right? Because I'm
yeah,
like,
mhm,
why this just ain't working for me? Like, why it's not
right,
translating? Like, I love you in this, or I
yeah,
love you on that project, but then I come see you and I'm like, that's happened to me a couple of times. Now,
yeah,
one person that I absolutely love, and let me ask you first before I say one of my
yeah.
favorites. Do
Okay.
you have any favorite comedians stand up wise?
And
Is
let
there
me and let me tell
anyone
you
that
this,
you look to for, like, I guess, that you maybe look to for
mentor.
inspiration, or that you just really dig?
Right. Let me tell you this first and foremost. Comedy is relative to the person. So
Okay.
it's like a sandwich. So you either you like turkey or you like salami or you like roast beef. For
Mm.
my brand of comedy, I'm a huge George Carlin fan. Everybody gonna tell you Richard Pryor and all of that. I like naturally funny. I like Bernie Mac when he was alive and still
Oh,
like Bernie.
yeah.
I like people who take the time and write. I'm a Roy Wood Jr. fan. I'm actually a Cat Williams fan. When Cat in his box, Cat can make anybody laugh,
Yes.
and it is the way he conveys the message. It's what he's writing about. Cat did a 3-minute joke about oxtails, and it was funny. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. But I can get into some political humor, but I'm more into make me laugh with what you write. I can
Got
tell who wrote jokes and who just up there being silly, and
Okay.
it's a difference. Yeah.
Well, you actually
Um,
said two of mine, Bernie Mac and Cat Williams. Like, I love
Absolutely.
Bernie and I love Cat. Like, I don't any chance I can go see Cat. Like, I missed him when he came to Orlando this last time, but we're actually
Mhm.
gonna drive to Jacksonville, which is on the 19th,
Okay.
to go see him. Because I love me some
Okay.
Cat Williams, yes. So I'm
Right.
just curious, like, but I understand what you're saying. Like, it takes a certain type of
Yeah.
person that kind of appeases,
Like
or you're able to relate to in order to get that message across with comedy.
right. Right.
Um,
I'm a true comedy fan, not to interrupt you. I'm sorry. So I like it all. So I like DL too and Cedric the Entertainer, even though they're different types of comedians.
right.
I'm not a huge Steve Harvey fan, but he can be funny at times as well. It just depends on what your cup of tea is.
Gotcha. Yep.
Uh-huh.
And I think it, like you said, it might also depend on, like, the environment, right? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
if you want to just like bust out your scenes funny, oh, I'm gonna hit
Yeah.
up Cat, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or
Right.
I want to see
Right.
Cat. Or if you want that
Right.
raunchy funny or whatever,
Yeah.
Bernie
Yeah.
Mac, or you know what I mean?
Right.
You might have a certain
Yeah.
level
Yeah.
for each one.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to figure out what makes you happy.
Right, right.
Everybody ain't gonna make you laugh like Cat, like you said. Oh, Ricky Smiley is actually funny. There's a new guy. Well, he's not new. He's been in a while, but newer to superstardom. His name is D. Ray Davis. He is hilarious.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, light skinned dude with the gray eyes. Hilarious. There are a lot of people that even in Florida. There was a Marvin Dixon. There's Malik S. There's a lot of a tight Mike.
Yeah,
there's a
exactly.
lot.
There you go.
There's,
Listen,
there's a lot of people that yeah. You just gotta. Comedy is not known. Orlando is not known. Florida in general is not known for comedy. You kind of got to leave and then come back.
gosh. What do you think
Yeah.
Orlando is known for, or Florida is known for? We won't make it so concise to Orlando, but Florida. What do you think we are known for? Because I mean, well, the theme parks, I guess.
Yeah, and when it comes to entertainment, there's a lot of course, great singers from Florida. But there are comedians that came from here, like Larry the Cable Guy came from here.
Okay.
Carrot Top came from Florida.
Oh wow.
Wayne Brady came from Florida, right
Oh
here out
yeah.
of the Orlando area.
Hmm.
And there are some decent. Arnez J is actually from Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
But the superstars, they didn't come. I don't know, but a couple of superstars, but they didn't come from Orlando.
Gotcha.
Um, and so it seems like Wayne Brady moved away and made it. Carrot Top moved away and made it. Larry the Cable Guy had to leave his TV station and move away and blew up. The Preacher Lawson, the young guy, he was on America's Got Talent, came in second, but he's just as famous. Um, so it can be, you know what I'm saying? You can make it work. You just got to be willing to go out there and get it. but we got to stop this cliquish, buddy, king of the throne, gatekeeping.
Mm,
Yeah, and it's a difference. You can't wait on the club to blow you up.
got it. Well, and
Yeah,
yeah, that would sound. It does sound like that would be stifling for anyone's,
mhm,
career or progression. So for
yeah,
you, like, what is your end goal? I guess as far as do you see yourself doing stand up throughout your years, or is
yeah.
there a point that you want to get to, and then you're kind of comfortable and set with the comedy?
I told myself 25 years, so next year will be my last where I'm out here hustling, getting it like that.
Oh wow.
Um, the television was the pinnacle for me, and so being a television host now, I've reached my plateau. I've accomplished my goal per se. And you're gonna be do that every year, all the time. But I've done it. My ultimate goal to retire into would be like a nice little lounge where my friends could come in town and perform if they wanted to, or we could just hang out. That is my sit down and chill, maybe 25, 40 people. And I put all my pictures on the wall from all the shows over the years. And my friends come in and sign the wall. And if you want to get on stage, you can. You don't have to, no pressure. I just want somewhere to relax. If comedians came to town, they could come and relax.
Okay, so
Yeah,
kind of like your own little quaint boom boom room, but everybody.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody's welcome. Yeah, and you just come in there, and a lot of people. We ain't gonna have no whole bunch of liquor or nothing like that. It's gonna be just a nice little lounge, little getaway, like Dolomite's total experience.
Yeah.
A nice little spot where you kind of honeycomb hideout type thing. But for comedians, it'll be a rest haven. Um, you didn't get into it just yet, but mentally, comedy is extremely tough. And normally, comedians are very mental when it comes to taking a time and not being able to relax because we use all that energy and give it out. So we have to
Mm.
defrag. Yeah. So I want somewhere for comedians. They come to town, they can relax and not stress it. Yeah.
And I'm hearing through that because we do hear a lot, right? Where even Cat Williams, he was in the media a lot regarding
Uh-huh.
different episodes or what they thought
Uh-huh.
were episodes or just getting into
Right.
trouble.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're saying you want to have like a safe haven for
Right.
comedians so that they're able to rest the mental, because I'm sure it's a lot of psyche that goes
Yeah.
into building your brand, building yourself up to get knocked down or to
Right.
withstand or withhold the pressures of industry and making it or not making it or reaching your
Right.
pinnacle.
Yeah.
What do you think are some things that comedians are able to do now, before, while you're still in the process of getting, this safe place together, to keep their mental together? Like, what are some things that you do to keep your mental steady?
I try to shoot ball. I try to shoot basketball. I try to exercise and walk. Try to do something other than the comedy club.
Mm,
I spend time with my kids. You got to go and stay active because our brain is always spinning. That's why you had a crazy dreams because you're not resting. So I
mm,
try to do a little bit of walking, definitely get your exercise in, try to eat mostly correctly, and spending time with the kids. And even if you don't have kids, spend time with your nieces or your cousin or kids at your church or whatever.
family. Yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, enjoy the youthfulness of that and understand the innocence of being a child and learning so much from the kids because everything is changing.
Right.
So constant change. So
You're
that's what I
right.
do to relax. Yeah, that's what
Because
I do
these
to relax.
kids are always under pressure as well, just
Right.
the way that everything is evolving. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So you're
They're not
basically.
outside as much. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so this is what I want to know. Like, when you are around, let's say, other comedians,
Uh,
do you feel like pressure to be funny, or who's the funniest, or who's gonna top who? Is that ever like a
no.
thing?
Well, it's always a friendly competition. That's
Okay.
just comedy. So we always say the real show is backstage.
Right.
So yeah, you're always messing with each other, but you know your skill set. You know what you do. And with comedians, you're gonna get some storytellers, you get some punchline tellers, some jokes. Some people just host, and you know exactly where you are in your skill set. So even though Joe Blow might be hilarious, but that particular night he might be open up for you. So he
Mm,
might make it hard. If he have a good set, he can make it harder for you. But know that the people came to see you, and you're gonna tear the house down. And that's the part of being a headliner. No matter what going in front of you, you got to shut the house down.
right.
And I enjoy that. So there's always camaraderie and friendly competition, yes. But I don't see it that way. I know who I am and I stand on mine. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter. But you will get that though from the younger guys when they come. Oh man, I blew him out. I this, that, or the other. And you had 10 minutes, sir. Yeah,
Right.
do that for 40. Do that for 45 minutes, sir. Yeah,
Right. Right.
that's the difference.
You got
Yeah.
to have the stamina. You got to have the drive for, to
Oh yeah.
45 minutes. That's a good set. And to be funny
Yeah.
throughout, listen, you a
It's
beast. If you can withstand that,
absolutely.
you're a beast.
That's right. No, no band, no, don't use the DJ. Stand up there on your 10 toes down and deliver them jokes and keep their attention for the entire 45 minutes without cheating with the DJ and play this DJ and play that and y'all remember this and y'all remember that. Go up there and entertain us. That's what we
Right.
pay you for.
Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And listen, it's only a few that can really,
Yeah.
withstand
And
that.
that's what makes you a headliner.
Right.
Absolutely. Hmm.
Exactly, exactly. Now I want to go back a little bit because I know you kind of touched on the television show,
Uh-huh.
Got Jokes that you're doing. What do you think what do you think we can do or you could do to bring more, I guess, attention to the project or
To the show.
to
It was. I think it's more attention to the station.
Got you.
Yeah, 3 talk shows and 1 television comedy show. It's just getting people to watch Afrotainment. It's on Comcast Xfinity channel 1623. It's also on Roku and Afro TV Live app, and also on Now TV, Afro TV Live, streaming live. So it's streaming on 2 major streaming apps and on national cable TV. So it's just getting people to watch Afro, just like when TV One came out and you know what I'm saying, the Black Experience came out. You just gotta get people to go to the station. Eventually, it'll pick up.
So how
Mm.
long have they been fully functioning now? Do you know, like the
Yes, the station has been around for 15 years.
Oh wow.
Um, in this capacity, everybody kind of shut down for COVID. When they came back in the middle of COVID, they expanded and got on. We expanded and got on national cable with Xfinity, and so Comcast Xfinity, and now we broadcast, like I said, 13 million households available in 13 million households across the country. So it is now on your number one starter when you get Comcast Xfinity. Our channel is on there, and now it's growing. So
Okay. So you are
in this
seeing
capacity,
improvement or steady growth.
absolutely,
It's just
yeah,
it's not
the
as
numbers are.
okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So and that is something that you enjoy, right? The television,
Yes.
the hosting.
Yeah.
What are you looking to expand into? What's next for Tight Mike?
Next for me is, believe it or not, I'm gonna write a book.
Okay.
Memoirs with a couple of the stories of all of those cities around the country I've been to. I think more so that's what people want to hear about, like the towns they never heard of, the times, the terrible hotel rooms. People want chaos. The
The behind the
terrible,
scenes.
yeah, the terrible hotel rooms. The time your car broke down. The time you didn't get paid and what you had to do when you was eight
Oh
hours
yeah,
away from
man.
home. Yeah, people want them stories.
I think that would be great. So,
Yeah.
is that something you just like in the beginning stages of? Like, are you just thinking of it
Yeah.
right now, or are you actually
No, we've written. I wanted 5 chapters. I've written 3,
okay?
and so I wanted it to be right. And then so many things happened along the way when I started writing last year that now you want to add them into the book. And we really, which is the cardinal sin for book writers, you want to finish what you got and then write another book is the goal instead of trying to stuff everything into one book.
Mm.
So I'm gonna finish this book and then I'll be off to the second one a little later on next year. But I want to get this one under my belt first.
Okay. Well, that looks.
Hmm.
Listen, that sounds like something that would really be exciting to read. Because yeah, who doesn't want to know about
Yeah,
this
they want to know the
time
story.
I got called whatever and I couldn't finish the
Yeah.
prior whatever happened. Because I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that has happened over the course of your
Oh
career.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cheap airplane flights, horrible flights, sleeping in the airport, sleeping in the
You
bus
ain't doing
station.
what is it? Oh God, I can Spirit. The Spirit is
Yeah. Oh man, what worse than that Frontier? We on Frontier, Allegiant, all them people. They just throw your bags. They put the bags on the
yeah.
plane with you. They throw it in there with you. Yeah.
They don't even
No
greet you. They
seatbelt.
just huh.
No seatbelt. They tie you down with the shoelaces. It's some cheap airlines out there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some get you there air.
Let me ask you this: are you happy so far, like with your? Do you feel like you elevated within this industry?
I am. because I'm self-motivated, and I remember where I started.
Okay.
So self-motivation and preservation is the key. I am always motivated because I know there's something else I can do. You're always striving for, of course, perfection. And then I'm at the point in my career, who can I help? How many other people can I get to this next level? Like it's not really about me anymore. I've achieved all my goals in entertainment. I've been on TV. I'm a television host. I've done a couple comic views. I've hosted 2 television shows now. I do my own shows once a month. Who else can I help? That is to me the ultimate goal. When
Yeah.
it's all said and done, I want people to be able to say, "He helped me. He booked
He
me. He
reached
showed
back
me
and he
love."
lent a hand.
Right,
Yeah.
right. He
I
did
love that.
not, get to a certain level and forget everybody.
Right.
He moved along and he moved in such a way that was respectable. And I want them to say good things at my funeral about me. So
Right.
that's where I'm now. But I'm at a different point in my life. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about my obituary, but I know that I gave good energy on earth when I was here. And that to me is a major thing.
Yes, that's definitely
Yeah.
look, that is major. And I'm sure you're gonna
Yeah.
conquer it. Because like you said, you're already in those stages. You're at a
Yeah.
different point in your life. You're a
Yes.
grown man in this comedy world. Look, you ain't no small,
Yeah.
you're not starting out. You got your niche, you've
Yeah.
had your grind time, and now you
Yeah.
want to be able to give that community service, give that service. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. Let me ask you this,
Absolutely.
because you kind of went over. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I cut you off? What you
No, no, no. I'm good.
Oh, okay. I thought you said something. I
Mhm.
was just gonna ask, you kind of went over some of the things that you've done. What is like
Mhm.
one of the craziest jobs that you've had prior to getting into comedy? Or one of them jobs you like, oh hell no, I'm not, this ain't me.
Man, I was a custodian at a middle school.
Wow.
And
Okay.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. And yes, they still write on the walls. Um, so I had a 7th grader who was remedial and
Mm.
wrote on the wall. And he couldn't spell. He spelled Bells. Kiss
What?
my bells. Kiss my bells. And wrote the big. He drew the big with the bells on it. And I said, well, who would do this? And the school resource officer said, I know exactly who wrote that because he can't spell. And they went and got him out of class, and we made him wipe the walls down.
Oh
Um,
God.
yes,
That's
yes.
crazy.
Kiss my bells. Yes.
Well, what the
And
bill supposed to be? That's what I'm trying.
yeah, in his region of his area. So
Mm.
he drew the big old thing with the
Listen,
two
my mind
bells
was
on
like,
it.
wait a minute, well, I'm like, wait a minute, Bill. I was like, what the? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Look,
yeah. Instead of
I had a blonde moment right there, but it's
that's
okay.
okay. I didn't know how clean your podcast was, so I didn't want to mess it up. But yeah, so and the good thing is he wrote it in erasable marker on the wall.
Oh God.
So
So he
he's
really,
not real.
yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah. What?
That was one of my crazy moments. And then I realized 3 months later they had me there to really break up the fights with the 7th graders. It wasn't that I was such a great custodian. I was more of a dean of discipline, and
Mm.
I got them together and would break up the fights. And I realized I wasn't really a custodian, and it got me back into the game. It was something to do during COVID. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, yeah,
Listen, you gotta make it. You gotta look. You gotta hustle
yeah,
until you can get to where
yeah,
you want to. So listen, I definitely understand. Now, do
yeah.
any of those kids do they recognize you? Like now, do you see any of them and they're like, "Hey, you used to be."
Hey, Mr. Mike, you on TV? Mr. Mike, you on TV? Yeah, I get that all the time.
And you
It
like,
always
hey, you can
amazes.
start as a custodian, but hey, now I'm
Yeah,
a comedian.
right, right. I'm a television host now. And it always amazes my daughters when we out at Target or out at the mall. And, I know you. I know you. I know. Oh, that's the dude from TV. Da 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 da. That's the dude from Got Jokes. You know what I'm saying? And so they like my daughters, 11 and 8. Daddy, you gonna sign the autograph? I said, no, baby, we don't really sign autograph. We take a picture if they want to take a picture. And you get in the picture too. And so they use that as leverage in school because they daddy on TV. You know
Oh
what I'm saying?
yes.
Yeah. So it's always good. It's
How
always
do
good.
they like your do they feel like you're funny? Because you know your kids, like even with me, like I try to joke. My kids are a little older, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
try to joke and play with them. They like, mom. But you're a comedian. So do your daughters think that you're funny?
They do. They do. With my daughters, they want to be actresses and actresses themselves and comedians. So they always trying to do a fake YouTube post. Everything they do has got to have click and share for likes. So they could be making eggs or Kool-Aid. It don't matter. Everything is. Look at Sharon. Everything come with instructions. I'm going to get my daddy some eggs. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm making
But
my
look,
bed.
they getting it natural then, because
Yeah,
you gotta start somewhere
yeah,
and progress to it.
absolutely. So they are good with it. They are good.
Well, that's what's up. I really love that. And so you say you only have two girls, so you're a
See,
what is it? A daughter dad. How do they say it?
yes.
Because I know I'm a
Uh,
boy mom. So do they say daughter dad?
they do something like that. I think it is not daughter dad. They call it dad's girls.
Oh, girl
A girl
dad.
dad. Girl dad. There
Girl
you go.
dad.
Girl dad. Yeah. So I'm so nervous. My daughter going to her first dance next week. I'm trying to, yeah, trying to figure out a way to get in there without being seen, and you know what I'm saying, look like a fifth
Scope
grader.
out the scene. Scope out the scene.
I'm trying, but it's some kind of neon party, so we'll see how it goes.
Hmm. Well, that'll be cute. Yeah,
Mm,
that'll be cute. I'm sure she'll have a good time, and she'll be. You raised her to know to be respectful, even though I know
yeah,
some of these young kids, you have
yeah.
to like
Don't
slow
touch nobody.
down. But yeah,
Don't touch nobody. Don't touch nobody, and
no,
nobody touch you.
exactly.
Don't touch. Hands off.
And you said she's 11, so what is that, like fifth
Fifth
grade?
grade. Fifth grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had
Oh,
a fifth grader and a second grader.
yeah. Oh, yeah. They at that very gentle age right now. Now,
Yeah.
once you get to middle school, now you really gonna have to be like, because listen, some of these videos I be seeing, I'm like, what the?
I'm hoping and praying. I'm hoping and
Yes.
praying that won't happen to my baby. Yeah.
I
Woo.
think I felt a little better because we have boys opposed to girls. So it's
Okay.
like, okay, well, that's your hot little girl that was doing such and such, But
Right, right,
I have
right.
good boys
Oof.
for the most part. They good boys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, boys would to me would be easier, but they say girls supposed to be easier. I don't know. I'm learning. I'm learning so much.
Yes, they do. Listen, they keep you on your toes. I know that. That's one
Yes.
thing about children across the board. They keep you on your
Yeah,
toes. I'll tell you that.
absolutely.
Yes, yes. Well, let me ask you this, okay, and then we can kind of, wrap it up. I know you're not feeling that well, but I thank you
Yeah, I keep
for
sneezing on you. I'm
holding
sorry.
on with me this far.
I got you.
Holding on.
I'm hanging in there. I got about 3.7 minutes left.
Okay,
3.7.
okay.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then we're
hanging in
gonna be
there.
out of
I'm
here.
trying not to blow my
That
nose
night
on your
quill.
national podcast. Hey, I'm trying not to blow my nose on your national podcast and let the whole world know that it's out here.
Look,
Hey,
look. It's all love. It's family. Listen, they'll be like, "Hey, you know what? He want to shame to go ahead and blow that nose in front of us. That's love right there. We're gonna check
there
him
you go.
out."
Yeah, this Advil ain't kicking in yet. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for you, but let everybody know where they can find you, where they can follow you, and what you have coming up next as far as your project.
absolutely. Type Mike comedy on. You know what? Type Mike Randolph on all the social media.
Okay.
I just changed it. They hacked me on Instagram, but that is Type Mike Randolph on Instagram and Facebook, and the Type Mike Show. So you
Okay.
can click either one of those. Locally, I got Sanford, Florida. We do Funny First Fridays. I'm bringing in the guy from Virginia, Antoine Murphy, and Miss Hope. We're doing the National Black Firefighters and Chiefs Conference in July. We're doing the gala days for the state of Florida Shriners in Miami in June. We'll be in Tallahassee, Florida, June the 21st.
Okay.
With the
And all of this is on
Father's
your
Day.
page as well, right? Like, do you have
Yes,
like
you'll
a
be able to
link
see
that
all
you
the
can?
all the calendars. Yeah, I know I'm jumping dates, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Right.
Yeah, so we have three national events and a couple of local events. I try to mix it all up.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
that's what's up. Yeah. So you busy. You gotta keep it going and keep
absolutely.
it coming. Yes.
And of course, catch Got Jokes every Saturday night, 10 p.m. On Afro TV, with the repeat on Thursdays at 11. And see comedians from across. We've had Marvin Dixon, of course, Mark Vieira, Tony Schofield has been here, Ray Gordon. Just funny, B flat, funny people from across the country is on Got Jokes. So definitely check that national television show out.
That's what's up. Well, I just want to say I definitely appreciate you stopping by this evening. I had a blast with you. I'm glad we were able to connect. I hope you get better soon. I'm sorry that
Yeah,
you sick.
yeah, yeah. Man, I was sleeping with my shirt off, trying to be young. And you know what I'm saying, the air went to blowing across me, and I forgot I was in my late 30s.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to get it back together. But thank
Yeah.
you again for having me. What a lovely platform. Thank you for having me on your platform. I had a great time with you.
I appreciate it. Guys,
Yeah.
make sure you all follow, like, share, and leave comments. Again, this is Synoria's Best Kept Secret podcast, and we look forward to talking to you guys on the next episode. Have a good one. Good night.
See you later.